Thank you. All right. Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you stick around a while because we do some dope things around here. Listen, have you ever wondered what we do as a studio owner? Today is all about that. I'm gonna show you some of the things that are not necessarily the sexy things of what we do. It's not the glorious things of what we do, but it's the things that have to be done in order to run a successful studio business. All right, so you saw the opening monologue. Is that a monologue? You saw the opening sequence. You saw the opening sequence where I had to do a Sam's run, get some of the supplies that we need, bottled water. I call it the hood soda. Also get some disinfectant wipes because we always want to make sure that the place is clean. And now I'm going to put that stuff up, and then we're going to clean up the space as well. We have a photo shoot coming in later on today, and then have a audio recording session. So I'm not going to take down the set right here for the photo shoot, but I'm going to move it back so that I can sweep and mop the floor and everything like that. So yo, I'm gonna put my music on as always and vibe out a little bit, and y'all get to see some of the stuff that we do, all right? All right, one thing you're gonna learn about being in the service business is things change. So as I was sweeping and mopping the front section, my photo shoot contacted me, my client for the photo shoot, they contacted me. They were scheduled at 3 o'clock, and now we've changed them to 5 o'clock. I do have a 4 o'clock. Tay has the 4 o'clock. He has the audio recording session at 4. So I'm not gonna inconvenience them and push them back, so you have to do it on the back end. So after they get done, then you can come in and do your photo shoot. So it's frustrating on my side, right? It's only when it is a client that repeatedly does this or is repeatedly not on schedule, that's when it gets frustrating, because we plan our day, right, as creatives. So I have my entire day mapped out. I'm someone that, you know, follows my schedule to a T, and I like to keep it that way because I have a dog and my dog needs me. You know, so the longer that I'm away from home, the longer he is without me as well. And then it throws my day off. I have to shift some things around and stuff. I figured that was a part of this whole, what it's like being a studio owner, what it's like day to day, right? And how things switch up. You have to be flexible, but then also, let's be clear, you have to also set boundaries and expectations as well. So if it's a client that repeatedly does it, you need to let them know that, hey, I'm giving you an exception, right? But we need to make sure that we stay on schedule. I have fired clients before because of that very reason, where they would show up 2 hours late and think that they still want to get their service. No, it's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. You need to reschedule, and it needs to be within the next 30 days, or you forfeited your deposit or the full amount. If it's a podcast client, you paid in full, you know, so you're gonna forfeit that. If it is on the photography side, then you pay a deposit and you get 30 days to reschedule. If you don't reschedule, then you forfeit that deposit. The next time that you do schedule outside of that 30 days, you are not only going to be required to pay the deposit, you're going to be required to pay the full amount in advance. And sometimes people think that that is a strict policy, but from creative to creative, owner to owner, you have to put those in place to deter that type of behavior, because if you don't, then people will continue to do it and it continue to mess up your day. I ain't having it. All right, so my process for mopping the floor, I mop the front of the house. So do that first to get that out of the way so it can dry up soon. And then I go to the back of the house and mop that. I leave the in-between unmopped while both areas dry. And while I do that, I'm simply removing the labels off of the water bottles. And it's not because I don't want people to know the brand name of the water that we're using. It's simply for the reason that the brand didn't sponsor your podcast. It didn't sponsor your photo shoot. So We're not going to be giving free advertisement for them. So, and if you notice that on other people's podcasts and things that you watch, no one has that in the shot. Or for movies, no one has Coca-Cola in the shot unless they paid for that placement. Now, the soda companies do pay for placement in particular movies. So if you do see the name brand and stuff, just know that they paid for that. All right. So while I'm doing this, I'm not going to bore y'all with the entire thing. I'll give you all some insight into the rest of this week and something new that's coming up that we'll be announcing. So this week we are headed to New Orleans. We have an event that our client is hosting during the Super Bowl weekend, and we're capturing that event. So honestly, as you're watching this, we are already, we've already come back. So I have to keep up with it. So I'll drop a different video tomorrow. But when you're watching this, we would have already gone down to New Orleans and gotten back to Charlotte. We are definitely going to be capturing footage while we're down there as well. Another documentary like we did for Cancun. It'll be shorter because it's not as big. The event is not as big, nor do we have as big of a team that's going. It's only 3 of us going to this event. And I hope I get a little bit of downtime to record video like this in New Orleans, because I think that'd be dope, because we do have some travel that we do for our clients, and I want to show you guys what we're doing. So when we get back from New Orleans, we turn around and go to San Francisco because that same client is hosting an event during All-Star Weekend. So February is super busy for us. We travel pretty much for 2 weeks, get a 2-day break in between both trips. But during that 2-day break, we will be editing from the first event and getting all of that done, right? Getting the photos and the videos done from that first event and packing and getting ready for the second event. When we get back from that second event, our clients here have already booked us up for that 3rd week in February because we're gone for 2 weeks. So everybody is going to want to get in that week. So I know for sure that Tuesday after we return, which is the 18th, that full day is booked. We have a booking on that Wednesday, and these are all podcasts, right? And a tentative booking on that Thursday. Now, to that point, I am, Tay, is our studio manager for Charlotte Podcast Studio. And I am encouraging him to start finding talent because we're going to need it, right? So get you an intern, start your intern program, and get some resources in here so you can train them. And once we find the right talent, right part-timer, they will be able to be here in Charlotte still recording podcasts while we're away, So if you think about it, we're gone for 2 weeks, 2 consecutive weeks, and the studio is going to be closed. So thankfully, we have clients that, appreciate what it is that we do, and they're flexible enough to wait till we return. But if it's like a new client, who knows? They would be like, okay, you're not available. You're closed for 2 weeks, or you're not available for 2 weeks. They could go somewhere else. So I don't want to leave any money on the floor or money go somewhere else when we could keep it internal by having someone here running the studio while we are away. So those are the things that I think about on a day-to-day. I also think about it as far as the Allen Lux brand as well, continuing to get other photographers and videographers that know how to shoot, and then they are quick learners and could train up in the way that we shoot, our style, and the type of events and stuff that we do, because some events are smaller where it's only 3 of us that goes. Some are larger, like the one we just did, which was 10 people. And I expect us to have events where we're going to need 20 to 30 people capturing the event. You know, we're going to continue to scale. Speaking of scaling, we are introducing a third pillar to the brand. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't want to say it now, right? Because we have a rollout that we're doing and everything like that. We have secured the socials for it. So if you want to, you can go out there and see the new person or the new handle that I followed. That might give you an answer. But there's nothing on those handles yet. Because again, we're doing an official rollout. I'm excited about it. But it's a third venture, right? So managing two already and then adding another one is already a lot on your plate to run two businesses. And then it's even more when you have to stand another one up while continuing to run those other two, right? Because you don't want to be so focused on one where you lose sight of the others or you have misses. And that's one thing I will never do. I will never allow any venture or anything else to diminish the level of service and quality that our current clients and potential clients receive within our already existing businesses. We went through a team adjustment, structure change, if you will, in the business, with one person leaving and another person stepping in. And my main thing was my clients are still the same. You know, they're accustomed to a certain level of video, certain level of photo, you know, and no matter who is doing it, the client still needs to get that same level, if not better, right? It needs to be seamless and flawless for them no matter what changes I'm doing internally. So same thing as in, even though it's not a team change, I'm not getting anyone off the team or adding anyone new at this time, but what I'm doing is adding a new pillar, a new service offering. It's a new service and it's something new that I'm getting involved in. Haven't been in this area or this space of the industry yet. So I have to get myself up to speed, learn and understand, you know, how that works. Of course, we will fumble a little bit in the beginning, but we will just keep learning and everything, right? And the beautiful part about it is that I have team members that support everything that we're doing. So I don't have to run it all by myself. I trust in the team and I can give direction. I don't have to micromanage, excuse me, which I wouldn't want to micromanage anyway. That's not fun for me, and it's definitely not fun for the person who is being micromanaged. So I'm glad that I have the right team in place to be able to help execute what we're already doing and what we got coming along the way. Yeah. So that's that. I'm going to finish taking these labels off of here. I got some K-cups as well. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. So Tay brought in a Keurig, because I drink a lot of coffee. He brought in a Keurig machine and I had to pick up some K-cups for it. So after I take these labels off, get these bad boys stored upstairs, get the K-cups up there, the wipes and the hood soda, and then move on to the next thing from there. All right, I just thought about something that I wanted to touch on, because I have people that ask me on a regular basis, how do you price your services, right? I think that is not a science, right? It's not is that the right phrase that I wanted to use? There's no exact science, if you will, in pricing your services. It has to make sense. Of course, people tell you, know your worth and then add tax. Well, what does that mean, right? For me, that is understanding what it is that your time is worth, right? You have to understand how much your time is worth. Now, let's be clear. For simple math, simple sake, right? We'll just say currently you work a 9 to 5 and you make $30 an hour. And then you want to launch your photography business, right? So if you make $30 an hour and you're just now launching your business, I would think that you need to at least make $30 an hour because that's what you currently make. If you get paid less than $30 an hour in photography, you might as well not do it and just continue to be at your 9 to 5 and make 30 an hour. You know, you wouldn't leave one corporate job for another to make less money. Now, all other things equal, right? I don't want to get into the notion of the career path of that other one will get you where you need to be or whatever. Let's just say simply this. Both of them are equivalent positions, equivalent benefits, equivalent path. All other things equal, but this one pays $30 an hour, this one pays $15 an hour. You're not gonna leave the $30 an hour to go work for the $15 an hour, right? So establishing what your time is worth. Now, that's not it. You don't stop there, right? So your time is worth the $30, right? But you wanna make a profit. Because if you're in business and you're not making a profit, why are you in business? Every company is in business to make money. So if you have to pay yourself $30 an hour, you need to put a profit on top of that. So now, let's say we're at $50 an hour. So 30 of that goes to you, 20 of that goes to the business as a profit. Okay? You with me? Okay. Now, if you have gone to school, you've studied, you paid for courses to learn your craft, you paid for workshops, whatever you've done, you've invested in yourself to make sure that you're better. There's a surcharge for that, right? So you add that on there as well. So with your unique ability, I don't know if that video is going to come out before this one or not, but there, an example is, I think it is. Yeah. So we had someone coming here to tour the podcast space. She is doing a virtual podcast. So she will be here in our studio and then her guest will be somewhere different. And she needed and was looking for a studio that could handle that or that has the know-how for that. She went to a different studio space. They were not familiar with doing virtual podcasting. Even though they assured her that they would learn and get up to speed quickly, she wanted somebody that was well versed in it now. Luckily for us, most of our clients do virtual podcasts and we're well versed in not only virtual podcasting, but using the actual software that she spoke of. So she has a marketing team and they told her to use Riverside. Riverside is a dope platform for us to do our virtual podcasting. I do have an affiliate link, so if you want to use it, go ahead and jump into the description and it's there for you. But we're well versed in Riverside. We're well versed in virtual podcasting, and it renders high quality videos for both parties. Of course, ours is going to be high quality because you're coming to a state-of-the-art facility. But even if the guests were at home, we could render the best quality image and sound from their video by using Riverside, right? So we not only land the client because we're well versed in that particular need that they have, right? We get to charge a premium for that because everyone doesn't have that skill. So that's another reason why people are telling you to niche down. If you niche down and focus on one thing, instead of the saying jack of all trade, master of none, Instead of focusing on so many different types of photography, you should specialize, niche down into 1, 2 individual types of photography, if you will. By doing that, now you can charge a premium because you are the go-to baby photographer. You are the newborn. You are the go-to pet photographer. Listen, I love my dog, and I would definitely pay a premium for a photographer who specializes in pet photography, because I do want to capture him, right? So that adds on yet another thing. So I lost track of that hourly rate, if you will, because I'm just showing you how you process what your service is worth. And then your equipment. What equipment are you using? You know? Now, I started my first camera that I bought. My mom bought me one when I first got taking my photography classes and knew I was going to start my business. And then the first one that I bought was a Canon 80D, 80D as in David. It was a DSLR, and I bought a lens outside of the kit lens. I bought a lens for it as well, and that was my workhorse. And I think back then I paid roughly $1,500 to $1,600 for the camera body and the lens, right? I used that all the way up until last year. So I have been using that for like 7 years, right? It paid for itself over and over and over again. But then when I upgraded, now I shoot with a Canon R6, Roger 6. I don't want to say Robert. If you know, you know. But yes, I shoot with an R6 now, and the price went up because now the equipment that I use is better than before. My skill set is higher than before, and now I can demand a higher rate. Okay? Now, add on top of that a studio. So do you have a studio space? Do you plan on getting a studio space? Well, guess what? You have to factor that cost in as well. I'm gonna go get some more water bottles and I'll be right back to finish this analogy out. You have a studio, or you're gonna get a studio. Now you have to factor that in as well, right? You have your studio rent, you have electricity, you have water, the water in the restroom. But we have water, complimentary water that you get for each session. You have to factor this in as well. This water is it costs me 17 cents per bottle. You see, they small bottles, because my mom taught me that trick. For when you do events at home, house parties, gatherings, things like that, or here in the studio, get the small bottle of water, because people are not going to drink the whole thing anyway. You know, if you got the large one, they're going to drink some of it and then they just put it to the side. So now you're going to have these big old 12-ounce bottles, half drinking and wasting your money. So those are going to cost you maybe 47 cents a bottle, or I don't know, because I never even bought any of those. But I know for sure they're going to cost more than these. And again, these cost me 17 cents per bottle, right? So you have to factor that cost in. So it's called cost of goods sold, right? So if you're selling a burger, you have to consider the cost of the bun, the patty, all the condiments on there, the cheese if you have it, bacon, whatever you put on that burger, everything has a cost associated with it. So let's say it costs you 25 cents to make that burger. You're not selling it for 25 cents. You're not even selling it for 50 cents. You would think that, oh, sell it for 50 cents and you make your money back. No, you don't, because you still have to pay someone to make the burger, to actually assemble the burger. You have to pay someone to sell the burger, fulfill the order, right? you have to pay for that building. You have to pay for the electricity. You have to pay for the equipment in that building. So now that cost goes up, right? So it may cost you 25 cents just for the ingredients of that burger, but it ultimately costs you $1.40 to make that burger because of all the other variables involved. So when I'm talking to my team about pricing our services, you're not just quoting the client for your time in doing the service, right? It's not what you're doing. Because if you did that, the business wouldn't make no money, and we wouldn't be able to have a door to open to be able to do that service. We are charging for the service itself, right? That hourly rate that we talked about. We're charging for that, but we're also charging for the 17-cent water. We're charging for the rent to have you come in here. We're charging for the lights for us to flip that switch on when you get in here. We're charging for that water you're going to use when you go use the restroom. We're charging for those paper towels that you're going to use to dry your hands. We're charging for the air filter that I just had to change. And I'm sure y'all get my point, but I'm dragging it a little bit so that you understand that there's varying costs, various and varying costs to doing business, running business, and operating, right? Just to provide that service. And then on top of that, it is your knowledge, is you. You are the only one that can do what it is that you do. I charge $175 for a headshot session. Oh, okay. I just wanted to see if somebody had something to say. Someone would say, that's not enough. Shamar, only $175? And then someone else would say, you charge $175 for one picture? People think of things differently, right? But with the various things that I explained to you all, I feel comfortable with that $175 for a headshot session. It works for me and it makes the business money. Now, I had a headshot session yesterday, $175. It was one look. The client was here, excuse me. I was going to say the client was only here for 15 minutes, but I will say the client's session lasted 15 minutes. Of that 15 minutes, I probably shot, let's say 3, and not literally shooting, pulling the shutter, pressing the shutter button for 3 whole minutes, but my entire time engaging with the client, telling them where I would like them to be positioned, ensuring that they have time to look in the mirror, check themselves, readjust, take a few positions, poses. 3 minutes. Does that mean just because I got it done in 3 minutes that I don't deserve my $175? Of that 15 minutes, I used 3. The client used the rest of the time, 12 minutes, to change in the restroom. Brought a couple of different tops to see which one she wanted the best or liked the best. So, but does that mean that I don't deserve that? No, absolutely not. Because 9 years ago, it took me 30 minutes, me shooting for 30 minutes. I'm making up a number here. I don't know how long it took, but I'm just driving a point home. 9 years ago, it took me 30 minutes to shoot. that headshot. Just because I've gotten that 30 minutes down to 3 minutes does not mean I don't deserve it. I charged less back then for that 30 minutes because I wasn't as experienced, nor was I as in demand. So the cost was less. And it took longer. You're paying for 9 years of experience. You're paying for that knowledge. And when you look at that back of the camera, baby, you're gonna love it. And when you get that edited photo, y'all have seen the reviews and the text messages I get. They love it. So yeah, I always factor in the variables. If you have to travel, you have to factor that in as well. Listen, I have to travel, and I told y'all earlier, my dog needs me. He can't go with me. He's a Doberman. He's 109 pounds. He lost weight. He 105 pounds now. He cannot go with me for these next 2 weeks. So I have to find someone to watch him. He goes to his trainer. That man charges a premium as well because he comes to pick up Cairo. He drops Cairo back off. He gives him a luxury bath before he brings him back home. He actually refreshes and reinstates his training that he had 2-3 years ago when he went to training. So he charges a premium. But I'm going to be charging that into my rate for the client as well. Because think about it. If I wasn't going on this trip, I wouldn't need the service of dog boarding. So why would I not charge for that or consider that in the cost? Because that is a part of the cost of doing service. You understand me? All right. I think that I've driven that point home. I hope so. If not, get in the comments and we can make a special video about that, explaining it. I will even, show you exactly how, I do it. Shoot, if you want to connect, and we talk about your business and how you're operating it and how you're pricing it, I'll be more than willing to do that too. Jump on a Riverside call and we can discuss it. All right. So I got one more of these cases to do. And I ain't gonna talk your head off. And I told y'all in the beginning, I ain't gonna have y'all watching me do all this water, but I have. But I thought those were great things to kind of talk about the updates that we're doing and that whole pricing thing, because that question comes up all the time. How do you price it? How do you price it? So I'm gonna do that last case of water and then keep going because I gotta keep moving. All right. So she's already shot her videos and now she's in here going to do her voiceover to the video. So we are projecting the video, the edited video to the screen, and the client will be reading her script or talking to the video. Then we'll apply the audio after we get done. So yeah, Tay's actually gonna do some work today. Huh?
Don't do that. Tay always doing some work. When you put them headphones at you on.
Are you hearing myself talking?
Mm-hmm.
Show Liz.
Huh?
Show Liz.
Oh, okay.
That way you can hear what your voice sounds like.
Okay, perfect.
Can you hear yourself?
My mic sounds nice.
Check one. Hey. All right, so Tay has finished his voiceover session, and now I am set up for the photo shoot. Client is in the restroom changing, and Tay is still not doing any work. What's up, man? So y'all have seen this set up more times than not. So simple 2-light setup with the white backdrop. There are 3 pieces that the client, well, not 3 pieces, I guess 3 outfits, 3 looks. So there they are right there. And we're gonna make it happen. Why are you being a creep?
Put that in your little
this is all I do while I wait for them to get ready. I will be doing my TikTok videos.
That will give you no direction. Just have to get it out.
Don't mind me, just in the way.
That's a wrap, good people.
What's up? I'm James. I'm here in Alan Lux Studios. Finally back in front of the camera. I'm nervous, but we're gonna do this. Be right back.
Why was I here?
Because I need to see you.
All right, good people. It is a wrap for me today. It has been a long day. I don't know how cohesive this video is, but the whole point was to show you a day in the life of a studio owner, and this gave y'all a lot of footage to show that. So I'm gonna get out of here. I have to edit the video that I'm loading, that I'm publishing tomorrow for you guys to see. And like I said, this one is going to be out to you guys, and we would have already been to New Orleans and back, and then on our way to San Fran. So we'll catch you in the next one. I appreciate y'all tuning in. All right, peace.